Welcome to Drinking Bros, presented by GhostBed.com.
What is up? Welcome to the program. My name is Rob Fox. I almost forgot it there. Joined as always by Dan Holloway. We have a very special guest today. Former Buffalo Bills and Indianapolis Colts GM, among other people, the man who drafted Peyton Manning.
Right. Yeah.
Bill Polian on the show today. How you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Yes,
thanks for being on.
Hey, that was a good call, by the way, drafting Peyton Manning. I don't know if anybody said that to you at all, but
There are a lot of people at the time of the draft who thought otherwise, including many in Indianapolis.
Well, they all want to leave.
Fortunately, it worked out well.
yeah, what they want, Ryan Leaf?
Yes.
Well,
Good Lord.
yeah, I think we figured that one out by
Yeah.
now, right?
What was the argument? I'm far enough removed from that I don't remember. But like Peyton was kind of the anointed one, and Ryan Leaf seemed like this.
That was
dude
2001, right? His last year in Tennessee.
No, it's 98.
2000. Oh, 98.
98.
So that was their first
98.
year there, then.
Yeah,
Wow,
that's correct.
Not a bad first swing.
Yeah, right. What was the argument?
The argument in a nutshell was that Peyton was manufactured. They used some phrase called, well, he's a product of the system. To this day, I don't know what it means. They also said he's got a weak arm, very unathletic, not a natural athlete. And those that disliked him thought that he was a creature of the media, much like Mitchell Trubisky was when, of course, Peyton's record was so much more extensive and stellar than Mitchell's,
Right.
but much like Mitchell Trubisky was the year he came out. He was manufactured by the draft industrial complex. And those were the arguments. Ryan Leaf was a better athlete, a more natural thrower, had a stronger arm, was more accurate, was a more natural quarterback, none of which was true, by the way. But that's what the cognoscenti, as we approached, let's say, February 1 of their draft years. And then, of course, once we did all of our research, including our scouts, by the way, when I came on there, I said to the scouts, I came on in December of 98. And, all of the scouting is done, the vast majority of it is done by then. And so I came on board and I took a survey, 9 scouts. Who do you like, Leaf or Manning? 4 for Manning, 5 for Leaf. So it was split right down the middle. So I said, look, okay, let's go back to the drawing board. We'll start from square one. I went to the video person and I said, give me a reel of every pass that Peyton has thrown in his college career and every pass Ryan Leaf has thrown in his college career. And to show you where the Colts were at that time, just as Jim Irsay was taking over as the owner, he said, we don't do that. And I said, excuse me? He said, we don't have the budget to do it. I said, just do it. I'll take care of the budget. So when I went through the film, and there were over 500 passes, not as many from Ryan because he'd only really played 2 years. Excuse me.
Take your time.
I forgot to turn the phone off. The bottom line was that Peyton was by far the more accurate, by far the more poised and able to handle the National Football League. And then we interestingly worked them out back-to-back days, flew down to Tennessee and worked him out, and flew over to
Pullman?
Washington State, Pullman, Washington, to work him out. And I remember standing on the field next to Tom Moore, who was our great offensive coordinator and still coaching in Tampa at 80 years of age or more. And I said to Tom, holy mackerel, Peyton's got a way stronger arm than Ryan Leaf. He said, you're not kidding. So that kind of sealed the deal. And I think Bobby Beathard, who was in San Diego and had the next pick, sort of knew that the decision was coming, because as we were walking into the workout, they didn't give us a private workout. At least Steinberg was his agent and wouldn't give us a private workout because Ryan had missed his meeting with us at the combine, and we took umbrage with it. And so Bobby came up to me, and we were in the parking lot, and he said, "Hey, you thinking about trading that pick? You want to trade with us?" And I said, "I don't think so, but if we do, I'll give you a call." And I said to everybody in our group, as Bobby and his gang walked away, I said, we're making the right choice. They know it too. And unfortunately, that's the way, for Bobby and for Ryan, that's the way it worked out.
Well, I mean, it worked out for you pretty well. Peyton, Peyton had a great career. I mean, so I don't know how many people know this, but yeah, for sure. Yeah, you got that trophy. I don't know how many people know this, but you've won more NFL Executive of the Year awards than any other general manager in history, right? I think there's been one other person that won 5, and you've won 6. So,
yeah, that's correct. George Young won 5, and the award is named after him, and rightly so.
Right. Well, I mean, look, it could be named after both of you at this point, and it's. I want to go back a little bit before Peyton, because you were the architect of that Bills team that went to 4 consecutive Super Bowls. And what was that prime? I'm sure this is painful enough to remember, but I mean, you put together some great teams there, and so, things happen the way they happen. I wonder, were you like a sacrificial lamb after they lost the 4th Super Bowl, or did you have enough? Like, man, I can't fucking do this again.
If there was a sacrificial lamb, and I think that might have been 3% of the equation, it was me, but that wasn't the issue. The issue was that when I came on board with Buffalo in 1984, there was a man named Dave Olson, a wonderful man who was the treasurer of the corporation. And as the treasurer, had a lot of say in player contract expenditures. And he would come to me, usually around this time of the year, and say, let's put our heads together and see what numbers we come up with. So we worked, and he had a lot of sway. He was the second ranking employee in the company, and Ralph Wilson Enterprises. And so we worked together to bring in Jim Kelly, to sign Bruce Smith, to draft Thurman Thomas. He was a big part of that.
Right.
And he deferred always and would tell Mr. Wilson, listen, Bill's the football expert here. We got to defer to him on football. Let's not argue about who the best player is. Bill knows who the best player is. What we need to do is get to the right number. And Mr. Wilson went along with that. He went along with that totally. And then because of I dare say, I don't think this is an exaggeration, a palace coup in Mr. Wilson's Detroit office. Dave was let go. Other high-ranking employees in the company with whom I had relationships and working relationships was let go. And they were all replaced by a man named Jeffrey C. Littman. And he ended up staying in that position for 18 years. He's the reason there was an 18-year playoff drought, because although he claimed otherwise 100 times, he wanted the final say on players. He wanted to choose the coaches. I don't think he wanted the Bills to win. I think what he wanted to do was have them be competitive enough to make the sale price when the team was eventually sold when Mr. Wilson passed away. Now, Mr. Wilson, thank God, lived a long, long time after that. But this is my opinion. He didn't want to win, but he wanted to have a loud voice, albeit behind the curtain and unknown to the media, and who was signed and who wasn't signed. And the example of that was when free agency came along in 94. Shane Conlon was let go. I'm drawing a blank on it. Will Wolford was let go. Key players who were big time contributors, he just dismissed them. Not worth the money. That's what he'd always, and I just couldn't live with that. And the working relationship between he and I didn't exist. We didn't talk. We were barely civil when we were in each other's company. he would play lots of games, like saying I'm coming over and on a Friday afternoon, and then not showing up until 6 o'clock in the off season. You know, I had another meeting, you know, stuff like that. Little nitpicky corporate games. And so Mr. Wilson called me over to Detroit before the start of the 93 season and said, you know, this isn't working. I got to let you go. And I said to him, okay, I understand completely. I'm terribly unhappy as well. It has nothing to do with you. I'm very grateful for what you've given me. And then I said, you know, if you do this now, this was on the eve of the season. We were actually going to cut. It was the day after the last preseason game. I said, if you do this now, we have a chance to go to another Super Bowl and win another Super Bowl. If you do this now, it's going to be too big a story for Marv and the coaches and the players to overcome. It'll be a cause celeb. You don't need that. The team doesn't need that. And I don't need that. So why don't we think about, we're agreed on what's going to happen. Don't announce it. You don't have a quarrel with my job performance. And he said, no, I don't. So I said, let's hold it. And then we'll announce it the day after the Super Bowl, win or lose. And he said, let me think about that. He said, that sounds like a good idea. So he drove me to the airport. I had to lend him $10 to buy gas because he didn't have gas in the car. And so the next day he called me and said, you know, that thing we were talking about? I said, yes, sir. He said, let's do it. So nobody, including my wife, knew that it was going to happen until sometime early in December, when some people in the Detroit office, or maybe even in the Buffalo business office, who had relationships there, they had to get ready for my departure and what have you.
Right.
It began to leak. But until then, it didn't upset the season. We went to the Super Bowl in '93, got our doors knocked off by the Cowboys. They were much the better team that day. But Marv, unbeknownst to me, he told me later, the night of the Super Bowl, went to Mr. Wilson and pleaded, you know, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. And Mr. Wilson said, no, you know, that decision's been made, and Bill went along with it. That's the way it's going to be. And so that's the way it was. But there is a happy ending. Long after that, maybe 10 years, I don't even remember how long it was. It was at least 10 years. I was on a plane going to San Francisco for a hearing on a grievance. I think I was might have been 90. No, it wouldn't have been 95. It was with the Colts at the time, but it was a grievance. And so I got off the plane, and Scott Berchtold, the PR director of the Bills, had a message on my phone: call immediately. Mr. Wilson wants to talk to you. And I thought, oh my God, maybe something's happened to him. Maybe he's, you know, he was up in years at that point in time. So I dialed the phone, and his voice was, you know, he lost a lot of timbre, so he wasn't speaking very loudly. And I was in the baggage place in San Francisco International Airport waiting for my bags. And he said to me, I wanted to be the first to tell you this. You were going on the Bills Wall of Fame this coming season.
That's good.
There was a happy end.
I like that.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, you guys, you've been a part of some pretty good, not pretty good. You've been a part of a couple of great runs on two separate teams.
3.
What's the other one?
He took the Panthers to the NFC Championship when they were barely a team.
That's true. Yeah, you were the first general manager of the Panthers, right?
I was.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, it ended up like the drafts were okay. They were good, right? But the free agency moves you made the Panthers pretty good right out of the gate. Like 2 or 3 years in, they were legitimately competing for NFC championships.
Yeah, Kerry Collins. I would say that guy. So that Bills guy, by the way, is that why Bills fans are the way they are now? Because he made them insane for 18 years, and now they're smashing their heads into tables.
Yes. Yes.
Well, I respect that at least. By the way, one thing I noticed on your incredible resume here. Not just a Super Bowl champion, but a Grey Cup champion.
Well, that was thanks to Marv Levy. That was my second year in Montreal as a scout after having a 10-year career as a small college coach. My college coach went there as a scouting director and gave me a job, and that was we were at the end of a great run that Marv had established in the CFL.
I love that. I'm a big. What's the difference in building a Canadian football team and an American football team?
I don't even know the rules of Canadian football.
I know the receivers can start running, like they can get a running start. Isn't the end zone twice as big?
Yes, the field is 125 yards long.
Oh shit!
And 65 yards wide. The end zones are 25 yards deep. So, but the most important thing is that because of the rules, and rightly so, it's a Canadian game. Over 60%, I think it's now 65% of your roster has to be Canadians. And then the remainder are what they call imports. So you have to do as good a scouting job with Canadians and a drafting job with Canadians as you do with Americans. Wow. But the Americans basically play quarterback and linebacker and defensive ends, and wide receiver skill positions. And the Canadians are in the rest, including the kickers who are absolutely dynamic. I don't know why Mike Vanderjack did it for us in Indianapolis, but I don't know why more Canadian kickers don't come down here and make it in the NFL, because they're very skilled.
Yeah, you got a ton of Aussies doing it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yes.
You drafted Pat McAfee, right?
I did.
Yeah, he's doing pretty well now.
Yeah, he found his calling.
Yeah, I wish I could have been there at the draft combine for him, because I guarantee you he was trying to try out for all the other positions. He just loves fucking playing football so much. He's like, hey, I could throw a quarterback. I could throw a ball, man. Let me throw it. And everyone's like, Pat, shut the fuck up, dude. Just go punt. So what do you think about how the game has changed over the last 10 years or so since you've been out? I mean, it's this year is a good example of the taunting thing. I'm not sure how the older school people feel about this, because players have been, like in baseball, the old school guys are like, don't show anybody up. But football players have been showing each other up forever.
Right.
Like 40 years probably, right? So what are your thoughts on all that and how things have changed?
Well, I'm an old timer, so I'm aligned with the coaches on the competition committee. I spent 20 years on the competition committee anyway. I'm aligned with the competition committee on that, because taunting does two things that are bad for the game. On the one hand, kids from age 6 in Pop Warner or 7, when they begin playing, emulate the NFL. That's why you see them running around with wristbands and all that kind of stuff. And so you don't want them emulating activities that are going to send them down the wrong road. Secondly, and equally important, you start to get into a taunting contest, and pretty soon bad things happen. Fights break out, etc. We don't want that. Nobody wants that. So in this case, the player is in firm control of whether or not he gets flagged. And the coaching point is make the play and walk away. Turn away from your opponent. Go celebrate with your teammates. There's nothing wrong with that. There's a little too much celebration for my liking, but I'm an old guy anyway. So, but the bottom line is make the play and walk away, and there won't be a problem.
So you don't care. You don't care if people do funny stuff, like to celebrate or whatever.
No, not at all.
Like I enjoyed that. Remember, who was it that put a cell phone in the?
Was it T.O.?
No,
was
Joe Horn.
Oh, it was Joe Horn.
Joe Horn.
That was pretty funny, to be honest. But I don't. Whatever.
In that era, I'll tell you a funny story. We would close the season with Cincinnati. It was the very same time as Joe Horn's deal was being spoken about.
Yeah, what was that, 2007 or 8 or something?
I think so.
Yeah, right around there. And so we're playing Cincinnati in a preseason game. And Ocho Cinco is not dressed. He's not going to play. So I walked over to him on the field, and I said, Ocho, what do you got planned for the opener? And he said, I can't tell you. But it's special. So I won't see the game, so give me sort of a sneak preview, a trailer, if you will. He said, it's going to involve marriage. And that was the one where he supposedly had the Hall of Fame jacket on and then took it off and proposed to the cheerleader on the sideline. It was all inaccurate. It wasn't for real. But I got a kick out of his stuff. I really did. Marvin Lewis was coaching the Bengals at the time, and he walked over to me, and he said, what were you talking to him about? And I said, I just wanted to find out what the next celebration was. He said, don't egg him on, will you?
Yeah, he didn't need any egging on, by the way. It still doesn't.
Great Twitter follow to this day.
Yeah, he's funny.
Yeah, he's a funny dude.
He's like if Jose Canseco knew how to spell and read and shit. Because Jose Canseco's pretty funny, but I can't understand what he's saying half the time. Ocho knows what the hell's going on. Like he's an intelligent human being. I'll say that. Not a meathead. I had a lot of fun watching those Colts teams. I especially had a lot of respect for Marvin Harrison. For a guy that skinny, he would go over the middle like he didn't care if he lived or died. I've never seen anything like that since, actually. Can you think of a smaller, not that he's short, but a smaller frame receiver that'll just go over the middle and take hits like that anymore?
I remember Wes Welker getting pretty brutalized, but that was...
Yeah, it's true.
A little bit different body.
Yeah.
It's a little more
he's
compact.
Yeah.
Yeah, as is Edelman. Marvin was so competitive that along about our third or fourth year in Indianapolis, he made one of those catches over the middle and got laid out because he was running for more yardage. And I think a fumble ensued anyway because of the big hit. If I'm not mistaken, it was against San Diego. And so Tony and I talked it over, and Tom Moore talked it over after the game. And we said, we got to talk to Marvin about this. So we sat him down and said, Marvin, look, no one's more courageous than you. But you know what? The most important ability is availability.
Yeah, no shit.
and we need you on the field. So no more runs after the catch on shallow crosses, okay? Go down, baby. Go down. Yeah. We need you there for the rest of the game. So he kind of changed his game in that regard, and, of course, had a long and great Hall of Fame career.
Yeah, I think 8 straight seasons of 1,000 yards or more. That's not a bad run. Not a bad run at all. I mean, it helps having Peyton Manning throw the ball to you, I suppose.
Yeah, not too
Edgerrin James in the backfield and stuff like that. Those are all good. Those are all positives. And Reggie Wayne on the other side of the field.
Yeah,
a lot of stuff going on in that team. That was a really good team.
It was. It felt like, I guess you could probably say maybe like the first like modern team was the greatest show on turf, Rams, but the Colts still felt like a pretty ahead of its time offense as opposed to... Yeah,
especially when you think about who Tony Dungy was known for creating the defense in Tampa Bay that won them a Super Bowl, right? He's not that he is incompetent offensively, but he's not he's not what's his name in Tampa Bay now? God damn it, I can't remember.
Arians?
Yeah, he's not
Bruce Arians.
Yeah, he's not Arians. He's not like an air it out kind of guy. He's a defense guy. And then he comes in and you've got weapons like the 4 people I just mentioned. And now it's like, all right, cool, I guess this is going to be pretty exciting. I'm surprised that the Colts didn't win more, to be honest, in that time period. But it's so hard to win Super Bowls in the NFL. It's so with the number of teams that have even won back-to-back in what the modern era, like after 1970, is like 4 teams have done it, I think?
I think, yeah, 3 or 4.
Yeah,
Patriots, Broncos,
Cowboys.
That might...
And I think the Steelers in the mid-70s.
Okay.
Won 2 in a row because Bradshaw had 4. I think they won like 76 and 77 or 77, 78 or something like that. I don't remember. But it's difficult to win more than 1 Super Bowl in a couple-year period.
Yeah. Look at the Chiefs.
Yeah. I mean, we saw it in the NBA with the Warriors going to all those finals in a row and LeBron going to all those finals in a row. And then you see the Warriors come up against Toronto. And look, the injuries obviously hurt. But Toronto still wasn't as good as the Warriors. Not even close. They just didn't have anything left in the tank at that point. But you guys with Buffalo, you went to 4 consecutive Super Bowls, which means you played 4 extra games per year for 4 years.
Right.
That's a whole extra season in that 4-year period. That's got to wear on your players quite a bit, right?
It does. The media talks about Super Bowl hangover as though it were psychological. It isn't. It's physical. Because as you stated, when you go to the playoffs repeatedly, I think we went to the playoffs all but 2 of the 14 years I was in Indianapolis, and you go deep into the playoffs. You're playing high leverage games. You're playing a month longer, in some cases 2 months longer than everybody else. And then the off season's awfully short, and back you come all over again. So it's up to the head coach to really take care of the guys in preseason, handle the practices and the games and their number of snaps. Well, Tony was a genius at that, and you can get through it. But for an ill-advised decision on a special teams play, we would have gone to probably another Super Bowl in 10 when we got knocked out of the playoffs by the Jets on a kickoff return that set up the winning field goal. But we didn't have, that might have been 7 rather. But we were one step from the championship game the following year after we won the Super Bowl. So Tony did a magnificent job of it, of getting the team ready and recognizing that they were tired and needed rest. And we were roundly criticized for it in our own media for sitting guys out at the end of the season and the quote, not playing to win every game and all of that kind of stuff. But you gotta this is taking place in a 17-game season context now. You have to be able to load manage. Which is
for sure.
Today's term.
I was going to ask you about that. Now that we've moved into a 17-game season, what's that look like?
Well, you got to try and get, if you figure 75 snaps a game, you probably have to try and get somewhere between 75 and 100 snaps off for all of your starters before you hit the playoffs. So how you do that is a subject, of another discussion, but you got to do that. Otherwise, you won't reach the playoffs in a state where you can be completely competitive. The object is to be as healthy as you can be in the playoffs. Now, the league office doesn't, they don't applaud that. They like to create the fiction that 17 games doesn't. It's just another game. It's one less preseason game. None of that is real, I don't believe. But if you're a club trying to win the Super Bowl, you better be careful about getting your team to the playoffs as healthy and in the best frame of mind that you can.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm just doing quick math here. 100 snaps over the course of a 17-game season. That's 6 plays a game. You would want your starter to be out of.
That's right.
That doesn't seem like that much. That's one a quarter plus 2.
Yeah, and then that's not even factoring in if you're a good
blowout,
team. Yeah, garbage time, that type of thing, where they don't even need to be in.
Yeah, but maybe they have. They probably factor some of that garbage time in too.
Right.
You know what I mean? But yeah, I think that's a big deal. It's been a big deal in the NBA for a while. Since the early 2000s, they've been talking. Like, people started resting guys. I think this Pop used to get in trouble for it with the Spurs a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And then they made that rule where if you're on the road, the presumption is that teams bought tickets to come see your best player, so you can't sit out your best player for no reason unless he's hurt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? I should be able to manage my team the way I want.
Right.
Ultimately, the point of professional sports isn't to win games any more than the point of war is to win battles. It's to win the war.
Right.
To win the season. That's the whole point, right? But I get it. It's still a business, so.
It's still entertainment, yeah.
Yeah. That's the fine line that you have to walk.
Well,
it's entertainment, but it's also competition, and people's jobs and livelihoods and careers are on the line. So you got to, as a GM and as a head coach, you have to balance those competing interests. Excuse me.
Right. It is a delicate balance. What
I was gonna say. I was curious about this because we were kind of joking about this the other day about how Eli Manning was like, "Sorry, San Diego, my dad said I can't play for you."
Yeah.
How involved was Archie Manning in Peyton's draft?
Virtually nothing. I mean, I might have talked with him once, prior to the draft, but virtually nothing. It was all, the interaction was all largely between Peyton and us.
Yeah.
And our coaches.
I mean, I can't imagine Archie's going to feel the need to get involved when the best general manager, and look, accolades, if accolades are mean anything, then you're the best general manager in the history of the NFL. And then Tony Dungy, you're like, all right, he can go play there.
Yeah.
Right. I don't think Archie's got any, what the fuck is he going to say?
Right.
You know what I mean?
I mean, hey, Elway did it to the Colts, right? It's
yeah.
That was a different
Colts. That was before Jim Irsay and myself and some others.
They were still in Baltimore then, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Nobody wants to go to Baltimore.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Look, the Ravens are a good team, but I would not want to live in Baltimore. Just saying. Where do you live now, sir?
Charlotte, North Carolina.
Oh, that's not a bad spot to be. I grew up in Greenville, just south of there.
Yeah, nice place.
Do you go to the games? You used to.
I used to, yeah. I'm a little infirm right now. I'm coming off surgery, but yes, we still keep our season tickets. And my oldest son Christopher is the pro personnel director of the Washington football team, and they were here last weekend. So I was a little bit upset because I couldn't go to the game, but I'm still on the mend, and doing that kind of stuff is kind of out of the ordinary for me. But if I were up and around, I go to a lot of them.
Well, they're it's been kind of a struggle for them this year, but they're. What do you think about? You said the best ability is availability. The Panthers might have one of the more dynamic running backs in the history of the NFL, but he can't stay on the field. McAfee, right?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
I don't know that I've seen a guy come right out. Maybe what was the guy's name? Delco from Philly back in the day, the running back.
Brian Westbrook.
Brian Westbrook was great as well, but I don't think he was even as good as McCaffrey at being a dual threat.
The only one I can remember coming out of college being that polished and like explosive was Reggie Bush.
Yeah, Reggie Bush. Yeah, but he didn't last very long.
No, he didn't. He didn't have the NFL's career that.
He was around for a long time, but yeah, he wasn't the same guy.
But I mean, we're talking about a guy, McCaffrey. His first 3 seasons came off without a hitch. The last 2, he's been hurt in both of them. So it's like, I know running backs get beat up really quickly in the NFL, but do you have, if you were the GM of that team right now, I know you don't want to armchair quarterback anybody, but how do you assess that situation and decide to keep him or to move on or get more people in that position or what?
Well, he's got a contract and it's not up for a while. So his issue is not, hasn't come to the fore yet, but they're doing it exactly right. They husband his number of snaps per game and a number of touches per game because, and the two are almost synonymous because if he's in the game, he's getting the ball.
Right. Yeah.
So some way or another. So he's rarely a decoy. So they husbanded his appearances, and they're doing it right, which means he's not going to be in every series. They're giving him probably, I haven't charted it, but somewhere along the line of 2 series a half off. So they're doing that right. And what they need to do is get a very reliable second back.
Like a Tony Pollard.
Exactly.
Yeah. Makes sense.
And split the carries.
Makes sense. I mean, he's when he's on the field, he's great. So you want to keep him on the field as much as possible, but to keep him on the field, he's got to be healthy.
Right.
Yep.
Well, that's good insight. Well, I guess it sounds like Dallas is doing it right because they're getting about a yard for every $1,000 from Tony Pollard and a yard for every $7,000 from Ezekiel Elliott right now. Just saying, don't pay running backs. Well, thank you for your insight. We're going to get on with the pick section of the show. We appreciate you showing up. Bill Polian, you are the best general manager.
My pleasure. Let me do a quick plug for
absolutely.
I have coming out called, ironically enough, Super Bowl Blueprints. My co-author and I, Vic Carucci, talked to players and coaches from and owners from 9 teams that were sort of iconic during the 70s and 80s. And it's really an oral history. And what these guys have to say is incredible. Many stories that you've never heard before. And obviously I'm involved with it, so a little bit biased, but it's a great read because of the people that we have in there. Terry Bradshaw, Bill Parcells, Steve Young, Tom Flores, Mike Holmgren. And Doug Williams. It's a great book. So it'll be on sale Monday everywhere. So if you're a football fan, I think you'll enjoy it, especially as a Christmas gift for other fans.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll definitely read that one. I love all the people that you said right there.
Yeah.
It's like it's the who's who of football for the last 40 years.
Yeah, seriously.
Great. Well, thanks for coming out. We really appreciate it. Definitely go check out the book, Super Bowl Blueprints, on Monday. That's actually Cyber Monday, too, so you can probably get a good deal on it.
Yeah, I would assume so.
All right. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Let's get on with the picks,
Actually,
boys.
I want to talk about who pays for this podcast first.
You can talk about me all you want.
You're handsome.
People like you.
Yeah. No, we got some advertisers real quick. We're going to make some picks. We might as well talk about where we make the picks, and that is at mybookie.com. This year, Turkey Day at MyBookie gives you plenty of reasons to be thankful, starting with a $250 risk-free bet on Thursday afternoon when the Dallas Cowboys host the Las Vegas Raiders. That's a game I don't hate on Thanksgiving. Usually it's a fucking nightmare lineup. But bet the spread between the Raiders and Cowboys at MyBookie. When you win, and if you don't, MyBookie will refund you up to $250. Simply put, you can't lose this bet, and that's no risk, all gravy, as no one but this copy says. Before you get your wager in, set yourself up for success by doubling your first deposit when using the promo code Drinkin' Bros at MyBookie. That's promo code Drinkin' Bros to double your initial deposit all the way up to $1,000, so you won't need to break the wishbone to come out ahead on this. Again, it's a free bet. It'll probably brighten up your Thanksgiving when your family's annoying the shit out of you. So free money, essentially. Feast risk-free on Turkey Day with MyBookie, and make sure to stick around for seconds as they gear up for what should be a fun Black Friday with tons of MyBookie will have tons of like odds boosts and stuff, and your pockets are gonna get real filled up with that. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.
I fill up my pockets with what are those things called? Pizza rolls.
Yeah,
like the Totinos, which I think is better than Napoleon Dynamite with the
tater tots.
The tater tots, like that's not gonna work.
No.
But those Totino's pizza rolls are made out of something that is indestructible. I don't know what it is, but it could sit out on the street for 3 years and you can still pick it up and eat it.
Yeah.
Which probably means you shouldn't, but we're not talking about should and could. I'm
No.
talking about I did.
Yeah.
And do. So
That's tight. Pizza rolls are tight.
Yeah, they are tight.
Everybody likes pizza roll. Ghost beds are also tight. I'll just talk about them real quick because they got 2 sick deals running, plus a deal on top of that, actually. So they're doing their normal thing. Where they have 2 ghost bed. If you don't know, it's like the best beds that have ever been made in the world. Best box beds you can ever get, like delivered right to your door. Don't bother going to some dumb strip mall or something. Like you could sit at home and buy one online at ghostbed.com/Drinkin' Bros. They're running 2 huge deals that they kind of always run because they're just very generous. The first one is a bundle deal where you buy one of their 4 mattresses, mattress types, and then an adjustable base, and then you add on whatever you want from there, more beds. Sheets, pillows, whatever. You're not an animal. You're not just sleeping on a naked mattress. Whatever you need to add on to there. You'll get 40% off at ghostbed.com/Drinkin' Bros if you do the bundle package. It just has to start with mattress and adjustable base. Or if you want to shop a little more a la carte, that's fine too. Maybe you need like 2 mattresses, but you've already got bed frames or whatever. Or you just want a pillow. Like you really just want one pillow. Whatever you put in your cart, you'll get 30% off if you use the promo code Drinkin' Bros at ghostbed.com/Drinkin' Bros. And for this week, since it's kind of Christmas shopping time or whatever, now through Cyber Monday, Ghostbed is offering a free weighted blanket with any purchase of $1,000 or more, and this is a mattress situation, so you're probably going to spend that most likely. The blanket's a $289 value, and it will be automatically applied to your cart when you spend over $1,000. And that's even with the code and stuff like that. So it's not like the dumb thing where it's like, oh, we're offering this deal, but not coupled with this deal. They're just like tossing all their fucking deals in there.
Yeah.
They're giving you a lot of free shit, a lot of discounts. So free weighted blanket now until Cyber Monday. So you got a couple days to do that. And again, you can finance these beds. It's like $35 a month, 0 down, 0% financing. Made in America, 20-year warranty, all fun shit. Ghost Bed's dope.
They are dope, yeah. And tight. If you put two ghost beds together, like put one on top of the other one, you can put your penis between them. Mm-hmm. And it'll stay cool because they're cooling mattresses.
Yes. We've met the creators and made them watch us do that.
Yep. I just wanted them to see that it could be done more for myself.
Yeah.
I guess. But anyways, NFL week is starting technically a little bit early this week because it'll be earlier in the day on Thursday, right?
Right, yeah.
It's Thanksgiving. We're giving thanks for finding the land we're on.
We did.
That's the most American of virtues, being able to discover something that somebody already lives in.
Right.
I just discovered your house, man.
I am actually upset that we didn't say we discovered the moon when we landed on it.
What do we say?
That we just landed on it.
Oh, yeah, that's stupid.
We should have said we discovered the moon.
Well, I mean, what he actually said was one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. But, I agree, I guess. And, we're doing a lot of apologizing for things these days. I'm not going to apologize for showing up and kicking somebody's ass. Sorry. Sometimes this is how it goes, man. You should have fought harder if you wanted to keep your land. I don't get this whole fucking debate. Land, people have been stealing shit from each other forever. And just because we were the last ones to do it, we're the fucking blame.
Right.
Like, fuck you, dude. Get out of here.
I mean, Native Americans colonized the Americas too. They're not from there.
Yeah, who fucking was here before then?
They actually wiped out quite a bit of native species.
Yeah, fuck them.
Yeah, giant sloths, man.
Giant sloths. Yeah, that's true. But there's the Mothman, I think, was here.
Yeah, Mothman.
Number of mythical creatures, actually, including Jesus.
Yes.
Were cruising around the Americas.
Well, Adam and Eve.
Yeah.
Jackson County, Missouri.
Brittany doesn't watch the sports show. I was going to talk shit. She's from the Lee Summit area. So,
yeah.
She might be Jesus.
She might be Eve.
Like the fucking, what is it? The Da Vinci Code, where the woman is, spoiler alert, is 30 years old.
Yeah, Jesus is like descendant.
Yeah, because he banged Mary Magdalene or whatever.
Yeah. I think it would be funnier if, like, one day she just hands you an apple and you see, like, a snake slithering out the door and, like, peeking back in and watching to see if you're going to eat it or not.
Yeah, I mean, snakes aren't, to be honest, they're not very good at hiding.
No.
I haven't been surprised by a snake in decades. Like when I was a child and I didn't know what they were. But now that I know what they look like and where not to go to encounter them, snakes don't break into your house and shit. They're not very good at it. So if you saw one, you could probably see. Like if you're just going about your daily life and there's a snake trying to trick you, you're going to notice, I think.
I can't disagree with that. It's pretty sound logic.
The logic is sound.
Yeah.
All right, so first game up
is an abortion.
It's the Bears at the Lions. To be honest, as inconsistent as the Bears are, this might be the Lions' only chance to win a game this season.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Plus, Matt Nagy has allegedly lost the locker room.
Oh boy!
That's
I still don't know if that's enough to lose to the Lions though. We'll see.
Might tie.
It's Chicago -3. Honestly, I'm not gonna bet on this game because it's gross.
It's pretty bad.
It's a Thanksgiving tradition like no other. Bet on the Lions.
Yeah, it's the worst Thanksgiving tradition. What's the Lions' record in this game recently?
I'll look it up overall.
I mean, well, I guess the last couple of years, the last 10 years or so, they've had Matt Stafford. Mm-hmm. And now they don't.
Well, yeah, they were competent for like a few of those years. Mm-hmm. Like they made the playoffs once or twice. But, yeah, I mean, if you want to sprinkle a Lions money line at +140 just for shit, because it's, you got nothing else to do at 11:30 on Thanksgiving.
I think you would be better off buying however much money that is worth of drugs.
All time they are 37, 42, and 2. So under 500.
Yeah, I would say Chicago -3 is probably safe, to be honest. The Lions are terrible. They're really bad. I don't care if he's lost the locker room or not. But
right.
I'm just not going to bet that game. This game I am going to bet.
Yeah, I like this.
Raiders at Cowboys. Dallas -8. What do you got on this?
I'm just going to buy a point and take the Cowboys.
Yeah, that's probably.
They might beat the shit out of the Raiders. It's not. The funny thing is, like, I feel like the Cowboys are a pretty good team, but have no reason to be urgent because their division's so bad.
Yeah.
So you kind of never know week to week. Like, they're just like, we just need 10 wins and we're good. Because they're probably not going to get a bye. I don't know what the standings are right now, but I need to look at the standings again. But I mean, there's probably a ceiling on them. Although I know the Bucs have kind of fallen back down to earth a little bit, but like. Yeah, I mean, they're the same record as the Bucs and they're a half game behind the Packers. But even still, I feel like they know they're in. But the Raiders are awful.
The Raiders are really bad, especially their run defense. I mean, it's really bad. I think they're bottom 3 in the league in run defense. And Cowboys have Zeke and Tony Pollard, as we were just talking about. I think this is probably a 10-point game, so I'll probably take a point and take it to 7 as well. But honestly, I think they cover 8.
Yeah, feels safe. Next, we got the Bills at the Saints on the night game on NBC. I like that they added a third game.
Yeah,
because although at this point I'm actually usually watching college football because you got the Egg Bowl.
Yeah,
I think UT plays at some point.
Yeah, there's usually. I mean, most white people are passed out.
Yeah.
By 7:30 because of tryptophan or whatever the fuck it's called. I don't eat turkey on Thanksgiving.
What do you eat?
Brisket and ham.
Okay.
Like when you assholes come over to my house this weekend, I will have a honey-baked ham, a big one, like an 8-pound honey-baked ham and a fucking brisket.
I like the brisket.
Yeah.
Not a ham guy?
You can keep the ham.
It's for the most part, I agree with you, but honey-baked ham is, it's nice.
I'm actually a big proponent of it annoys me that ham, and especially like a good thick cut of ham, is not a more frequent breakfast meat.
Well, I guess it depends on where you are, right?
But even like the McDonald's ham that they have, it's like some stupid little piece of Canadian bacon.
That's not real ham.
Right.
That's not real meat.
Fair.
That's like crickets and shit they ground up.
Snowpiercer food.
Yeah. Ivan Huerta. Yeah, I might stuff the brisket up the turkey's ass. That's a good idea. I might do that. I don't know. We'll see. Did you see, by the way, I think it was NBC News. They were talking about ways to deal with the fact that turkeys are more expensive, and one of the ways was just don't buy one, and people won't show up. Like, what the fuck kind of advice is that? It's like remember how the morning shows used to always give stupid travel tips. I think there was a thing about it in 30 Rock.
Yeah, they took a drink every time Matt Lauer said something inane about traveling.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that has flipped now, and they're just using that as a propaganda device.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to see your friends and family. I agree, by the way. I don't want to see my friends and family, but whatever. Anyways.
I don't necessarily agree. How much are turkeys usually? Because they're like
fucking know.
It's like $1.50 a pound.
People only buy it once a year.
Yeah.
Literally. So Randall's was running a deal. If you're a Randall's member, and by the way, that costs nothing. You just go up to the register and you're like, "Can I get a Randall's card?"
Yeah.
It's 50. Their turkeys were 50% off. I got a 20-pound turkey for $23.
I saw them, and when you walk into Randall's over on whatever that road is right there.
Oh, Brody.
It's like Brody. Yeah. When you walk in, they have that display right there, and there's like fucking 10 turkeys in there.
Yeah.
Like big ones. Who the fuck is missing out on turkey?
Yeah, no one.
I don't believe any of this shit. Anyways, fuck the Bills.
Yeah.
Right? The Bills have been reeling lately.
I mean, the Saints just got rolled by us.
Yeah, the Saints suck, but I mean, the Bills only scored 6 points against the Jaguars and then only scored 15 points against the Colts. Right?
They might be costing. What's their record against the spread? Because I feel like they are costing bettors a lot of money.
I bet they are.
I mean, you got to think people bet the fucking house on them against the Jaguars. The Bills is the Colts is a little bit, I guess, more of a you never know kind of week.
They're 5-3-1. So depending on how you scored, either 5-3-1 or 5-4-1 or 6-4, I guess. But yeah, they're 5-4-1 now against the spread. Not great.
So like 500.
Yeah, it's not great.
5-4-1 against the spread, but that's a team that probably sees more volume, right? Because they're fucking supposed to be good.
Probably. When you say see more volume, you mean the spreads are bigger?
I mean, they get more money bet on them.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So their 4 losses against the spread is more damaging than like if the Raiders lost 4 games against the spread or some shit.
I mean, up to last week, they were like a top 4 favorite to win the Super Bowl.
So. Yeah, not anymore, I would imagine, but they probably still should be. This happens every year to NFL teams. Do you know how rare it is for a team to have a wire-to-wire good season, regardless of who you are? Yeah. And it's just like the fucking media generates these narratives like, oh, is Pat Mahomes dead? Like, no, he's not. They're fucking figuring out their offense in games that mean nothing. That's what's happening right now, you stupid bitch. Anyways, this is an interesting game, to be honest. The Saints just signed Taysom Hill to some weird-ass contract where he might make up to $95 million.
Right.
Right? But he shouldn't make any of that money because he's never doing anything.
Yeah.
And if their goal is to bring in another quarterback to actually run that team for the next couple of years, what the fuck are you paying him $40 million for? Are you really like that's guaranteed? I think $40 million.
Yeah.
So you're paying a backup quarterback that sometimes does some other stuff like Slash back in the day, whatever his name was.
He's also a gunner on the punt return team. So
I don't care about any of this. $40 million for that guy.
Making tackles.
Yeah, no, fuck him.
It's insane.
Anyways, that's not the point. The point is that the Bills need a big win right here. It's Bills minus 5.5. I'll take the Bills minus 5.5.
I think so too. And also, they are kind of like on again, off again.
Yeah.
Because like what? Let's see what happened here.
Well, that one game was the Jets, but
right. I mean, but in their last 4 games, they pretty handily. I mean, they beat the Dolphins by 2 touchdowns. So last 6 games. Beat the Chiefs pretty handily by 18 points at home. That's crazy. Then lose to the Titans, who are for some reason giant killers, but then lose to dog shit teams. Then they beat the Dolphins by 2 scores. Great. Then they fucking lost to the Jags, and then they beat the fuck out of the Jets. Then they lost. It feels like they're gonna. This is what was the line?
5.5.
Oh yeah, this feels like this feels like a double-digit win.
Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, I'll take it at 5.5. I think that's safe.
Yeah, I think so too.
First up on Sunday is Steelers at Bengals. Jesus Christ. That's gross. Bengals probably going to win this game. Cincinnati minus 4.5. I don't think so, buddy. They against the spread are not good. So,
yeah.
I'm not going to pick the Steelers either. I'm not going to bet this game, but I would be, if you're thinking about betting this game and it's like, oh, the Bengals should win this game, they should win. Probably by 3.
Yeah, the 4.5, a little out of my comfort zone.
But I'm not. The Steelers suck so bad that I'm not even willing to take it to plus 10.5 on a teaser because they could very well get beat by 30 fucking points in this game. You know what I mean?
This game's all over the fucking place.
Gross. Let's skip that one.
Yeah.
Sorry, Steelers fans. But
yeah, Pittsburgh's 4-6 against the spread. Cincinnati's 5-5.
Yeah, terrible.
Ugh.
2 very, very good teams. This is one of the 3 exceptional games that are happening this week, and they're all a little bit different. Buccaneers at Colts, 2 very good defenses, 2 teams that have a pretty decent run game. What do you think is going to happen here? It's Tampa Bay minus 2.5.
Tampa Bay was kind of cruising earlier in the year, and now they're really actually having to play to get a bye. So, I mean, they need to fucking win this game. Like, this isn't like it's another good team. Hopefully we win or whatever. Like, they're in a place now where I don't think they're kind of fucked at 7-4. I feel like
a little, yeah. I mean, they've since they've gotten their act together, I guess, for lack of a better phrase, they've lost to 2 shitty teams. Yeah. So when really good teams lose to shitty teams, that doesn't really bother me that much. That's just a lack of concentration or something weird happened or whatever. Last night against the Giants, they looked okay. They played 3 quarters of football last night. Right. They still didn't play a full game. It should have been 45-0, but whatever. Or 45-10, rather. At the Colts are going to give them a challenge, and I think that's where they actually play their best football. So, yeah, I mean, Buccaneers 2.5, that's probably good. I don't know.
I think they win. I will say this though: the rest of the Bucs schedule is pretty fucking shitty. They play the Bills at home, and other than that, it's Falcons, Saints, Panthers, Jets, Panthers. So they've got some breathing room.
Well, the Colts' number 1 fucking weapon is their run game, and Jonathan Taylor is having a very, very good year. Like he's way better. He's the guy we saw in his sophomore year not the guy we saw in his junior year.
Yeah.
Right? Which is good for Indy because they got a great deal on that motherfucker where they drafted him. The Bucks give up 78 rushing yards per game.
Pretty good.
78. That's 10 less than anybody else.
Yeah.
And it's about fucking 50 less than the Chargers give up. I think that in matchups like that where your fucking best asset neutralizes the other team's best asset, you probably have an advantage. Mm-hmm. And then also you have Tom Brady.
Yeah, I like this because they only have to win by a field goal, right? 2.5 is a pretty friendly line.
Colts are kind of middle of the road defensively. I mean, they don't give up too many points, but they give up a lot of yards, I guess, particularly in the passing game. So I think maybe the points thing is almost like it's like the batting average on balls in play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Kind of situation like maybe you're just unlucky sometimes, or maybe the other team is lucky and they have to settle for field goals or miss field goals in point scoring situations or whatever it is. I'll take Tampa Bay 2.5 right here.
I like that too.
I talked myself into it.
I like that too. I mean, the Colts could easily win this game, but I think if you had to play this game 10 times, the Buccaneers win by 3.
Yeah.
6 out of 10 times, something
Probably,
like that. Yeah.
Next up is Panthers at Dolphins. Don't watch this.
This is bad.
I mean, I don't know who's active for both of these teams, but I know that they suck.
Dolphins has won 3 straight. Fins up.
Shut up. No. We're not doing that.
Tua's turning it around.
2 against the Texans
Maybe
and
the
Jets.
Texans and Jets. I don't know what happened with the Ravens, but, man, this team is fucking terrible.
The Dolphins make me sleepier than all the retirement homes in that fucking state.
Yeah.
Like, I just get so goddamn bored thinking about the Miami Dolphins. And then, I don't know. I'll root for Bill Polian's kid and take the fucking Panthers at -1.5. They should win the game. Like, I know the records are kind of the same, but, like, the Panthers are better.
Yeah, they're quite a bit better, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything, especially this year. Let's see. Let's look at Tua's last couple of games. Against the Jets, he was 27 for 33. That's pretty good. 81.8% completion percentage.
He's back.
We just needed him to play the Jets every week.
Yeah.
That's all. Shit. He's had good games against. He didn't really play much there.
I think he's been weirdly pretty competent all season.
Well, I mean, look, against Atlanta and Jacksonville and the Jets, yes. Against other people, not so much.
Right.
But we'll see. The Panthers' defense is pretty good. I'm not going to bet this game.
No, this is for junkies.
Yeah. Here's another game I really like, though.
This game's awesome.
Titans at Patriots. This is 2 of the teams that I think are in serious contention for winning the AFC this year.
Yeah, as long as the Titans don't have to play the Texans.
Yeah, I know, right? Jesus Christ. But that's again, I just don't judge a good team by losing to shitty teams. I don't care about that. That's meaningless to me. Like they lost to the Jets and the Texans. Those are 2 of their 3 losses this year. To me, that shit doesn't even count. That's just a lack of focus.
They don't focus.
Yeah, but they're not going to. They're going to focus against Bill Belichick. At any rate, this is New England -6.5. I think that's probably a little high.
Yeah.
I think it should be New England probably to bait people -3.5 because it's probably going to be a 3-point game. So I'm going to take the Titans at +6.5.
Good teaser game.
Yeah, you could take it up to 12. You could take it up to Titans 12.5.
Or Patriots half point.
Or Patriots half point.
I'm good with either of those.
Yeah, those are both good bets. Because I think the Patriots will win this game by a field goal. I don't think they're going to win by 7.
Yeah, I do think they win. They're on a fucking roll right now. Now I'm just kind of hoping that, even though I still think the Chiefs are going back to the Super Bowl, I'm just kind of hoping for Patriots-Bucks.
It would be hilarious.
That's what we all want, really. Like, if you don't have a rooting interest in a team, you want something fucked up like that.
That would be I'm telling you, that would be the most watched Super Bowl ever.
Yeah.
People that didn't know what football was before that would be watching fucking the Super Bowl. What is it, like 120 million people a year watch it?
Something crazy like that, yeah.
This might be the first billion.
Yeah.
No, actually, to get a billion to watch the Super Bowl, you need a Chinese dude playing. For real. Like, you would need a Chinese quarterback or some shit. Which would be that'd be dope. Because then people wouldn't care about soccer anymore. It would just,
what,
it
like
would just
in China?
It would just be Europe and South America at that point.
Yeah, but then some Chinese official would touch his thigh, and then he'd complain about it, and then he'd get killed.
And then he would disappear, and then he would do an awkward video chat where you could see the shadow of a gun in the background or some shit like that. There's no way that shit was legit, right?
No.
Fuck out of here.
No.
It reminded me of that Taliban news guy who's got those two wonky-eyed dum-dums pointing the AKs at him while he's fucking giving the speech. Everything's fine. We're good here, folks.
It's fucking Avery Jessup on North Korean news.
Yeah. Next up is one of the grossest games of the week. Eagles at Giants. It's Philly minus 3.5.
We're back.
Don't waste your money on this game. Although the Eagles are very good on the road, 4-2 on the road.
I'll take the Eagles here. Maybe I'll buy a half point just to be safe, but I like the Eagles to fucking roll the
Let's
Giants.
see who they beat on the road.
Giants just fired their offensive coordinator because Jason Garrett is not good at coaching football.
He's good at clapping.
No, the only reason Jason Garrett ever got a job is because that other dude got caught with a gun in the fucking airport. What was his name?
Switzer?
Yeah, Barry Switzer.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he would still be there probably. You know how loyal Jerry Jones is.
Yeah.
Like Barry Switzer would still be there.
To a fault. My favorite Barry Switzer story is how when Trump was running, I think, in 2016, Barry Switzer was seen leaving Trump Tower, and everyone was like, oh, my God, is Barry Switzer... Like, first off, he's been retired for, like, 20 years. Like, oh, my God, is Barry Switzer gonna vote for Trump and, like, all this stuff? Or is he going to endorse Trump and stuff like that? And then someone finally interviewed him, like, 2 days later. Not even interviewed him.
It's a hotel, bro.
He was like, I went in there to get a Starbucks. It was like 2 days of people being like, is the Barry Switzer endorsement imminent?
Does anybody... What athlete could endorse a candidate that would make you change your mind on who you were voting for?
I literally have no idea.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So fucking shut up, bunch of bitches. Don't waste any of your money on this game. It is not a real game, and there are no consequences in this game, except for the fact that if the Cowboys keep doing dumb shit, they could fucking lose the division again.
Yeah.
Or somebody with a losing record could win that division. Like legit this year. It could be an 8-9 team. That'd be really funny.
That's what I want. They're like, it's like if the SEC was terrible.
Yeah.
That's what the NFC East is. It's depressing.
Yeah, it's bad. Speaking of depressing, Falcons at Jaguars. Even. Even money, guys. Here's your chance.
I actually love this. Like Falcons all the way. I'll take this any day.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good.
God, I don't know if I can even do that, though.
No, it's terrible. First off, these logos look like this is like a movie. You know what I mean? Like it's two fake teams. It's an Any Given Sunday direct-to-DVD sequel. Like I just hate these franchises.
How is it that so the last 3 weeks, Trevor Lawrence has thrown the ball 86 times, and he has no touchdowns and no interceptions. Like, what are the chances of that?
It's because he plays in Jacksonville.
Rob just doesn't like a newcomer coming in and stealing the show.
Who?
Jacksonville.
Yeah, I guess.
That was a reference to that homeless lady.
I feel like we should start the same way we do with college football, break this up into real football games and not outside the top 25.
Literally.
Because this game, we shouldn't even be talking about this right now.
No. It should just be like the 5 best games of the week, and then we'll just do a dumpster show.
But the Falcons probably win this game.
I think so.
So there you go.
I can get you on board my whole campaign for professional sports to limit the amount of teams. Like there should be 12 teams in every pro league.
I think there should be minor league football. So there should be 12 teams in professional football. They should have a relegation and promotion thing like European soccer does.
I'm down with that.
Yeah, that would be way better.
Yep. Same.
I thought that was the Canadian League.
No, the Canadian League just has their like 10 teams.
The Canadian League
only
is
a few
essentially the
people
MLS.
only a few people have popped over from there. I think didn't Kurt Warner play 1 year before he went to Arena Ball or something?
I think he was in
maybe.
Europe.
He did play in NFL Europe.
Maybe it was, yeah.
What day would they play on, though, this, like,
They
amateur
play,
football?
They would play on probably fucking Friday, I guess.
Yeah, Canada's where you go when you're like you have nowhere else to go. Like Ricky Williams went there for a year.
Because they let him smoke weed
Yeah,
up there.
because smoking weed.
Yeah. Oh, he never played Canadian football.
Who?
Kurt Warner.
So
just
it was
arena.
just arena.
Yeah.
Well, either way, yeah, they're not doing that. I agree with you. There's too many teams. Speaking of too many teams, the Jets and Texans should not exist.
These games being back to back just on the list of games it's too much to bear.
Yeah, it's not great. Why do they put those? ESPN should know better than this, than to put those two next to each other.
Yeah.
The Houston doesn't deserve a football team. That, and I don't mean the city necessarily, but yeah, also the city. First of all, that city sucks. That city is fucking terrible.
Houston's trash.
Yeah, it is garbage, and this is 100% the worst managed franchise in all of professional sports.
I think at this point, I mean, the Jets are the only other one that could make an argument. So it's the dog shit management bowl.
So what are they doing? I don't understand what the fuck is going on with Deshaun Watson. They could have traded him at any point for anything and gotten more than what they've done.
Yeah.
Like the word on the street before the season and even in the early part of the season was they were asking for too much. Anything is too much.
Well,
You're not playing him.
Up until this point, they had a fucking youth pastor run their entire organization.
Yeah. Any player that you traded him for that played one snap has brought you more value than Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're waiting for, but we're not waiting for this game. I'm not betting on this. Fuck this game. Chargers at Broncos. This is kind of two middle-of-the-road teams.
I think the Chargers are better than their record.
They are, yeah, but they're inconsistent in the way that you don't want a team to be inconsistent. They lose games. They lose games against good teams they should win.
Yeah.
I think Herbert's still a little young. But they're good on the road. The Broncos suck at home. It's Chargers -2.5. I'll take that action.
Yeah, I like that too. I think they win by at least a field goal. I know the Broncos, stacked back-to-back wins against the, Washington and the Cowboys, but like everything before that is pretty grim.
Yeah.
So I don't know what anyone thinks they're going to do. I think the Chargers are a genuinely good team, and I think, I don't know, maybe they've just had a tough record at the start, although they lost to the Cowboys. But, yeah, they caught the Patriots when the Patriots started rolling. At Baltimore is not easy, even though they got the shit kicked out of them. Their only egregious loss is to the Vikings, right? Like, they've played,
Yeah, but the fucking Packers just lost to the Vikings, too. That's Kirk Cousins bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to show up and pop you every now and again. He just throws haymakers, and it sometimes works out.
Yeah.
And we'll get to them in a second. Well, I guess we could do this now. Vikings at 49ers. It's San Francisco -3. You don't see the Vikings string together back-to-back lately, but that kind of has been Kirk Cousins' MO over the years, is where they play, they'll have a good 3 or 4 game stretch, and everyone's like, oh, he's going to do it, and then all of a sudden they lose 8 games in a row.
Right.
He's on a good run right now. 49ers are good.
They're also better than their record. There's a lot of teams that have just really middled this year as compared to what their talent level is.
The 49ers have been dog shit at home, but they've played the Packers at home, Seahawks at home, and the Seahawks still had legs. The Colts at home and the Cardinals a couple of weeks ago, and they got lit up in every single one of those games.
Yeah,
not necessarily lit up, but they lost them pretty handily. So
pretty impressive win against the Rams, though.
Yeah, that's a good one. We'll get to the Rams in a second, but I think San Francisco -3. I don't know about that. Kirk Cousins is on his bullshit right now, and he's cost me money before.
Yeah,
by actually showing up to games I didn't think he was going to.
This is a real tricky game. I don't have any read on. It's a coin flip to me.
What do you got, Dan?
Vikings.
I'm not doing that. Next up, speaking of the Rams at Packers. This is probably the best game of the week.
Yep. Even money.
Even money, yeah. So they're saying that the Rams are better than the Packers because they're playing in Lambeau, and usually you get about a normal away game. You're getting about 3, 2.5, 3. At Lambeau, you get 4, 4.5, right? Because it's so fucked up to play there. We'll see. I'm going to take the Packers here. As much as I hate Aaron Rodgers, I love Aaron Rodgers. Actually, I just like to talk shit about him. But I'm going to take the Packers here, because I think that OBJ is cancer. Honestly.
Wait, is or has?
Either way.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't know if he has cancer, but I think he is a cancer to any football team he shows up to.
Yeah.
It's beyond fucking personality differences at this point. Way beyond it.
He just wants everything. At first, it's like, why don't you throw the ball? I feel like if he got 20 targets a game, he'd start complaining that, Matt Stafford wouldn't let him fuck his wife.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just always not, there's never enough for OBJ.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to shit on me more. Fuck. Yeah, that's my read on this. I think the Packers win this game. I think that you're going to see either the Rams as a team will fall apart or he will get shuffled aside. It'll be one of those two things. He's absolute cancer.
Weather, fairly cold, 38 degrees. So
it's not bad. No precipitation, though. So, I mean, that football guys like that kind of weather.
I mean, yeah, but if
Stafford played in Detroit for a long time. He's played in the NFC North quite a bit, so he's played at this stadium probably fucking 10 times.
That's true. Yeah.
Maybe. Well, maybe not 10, but probably 6 or 7.
It'll be freezing by the time the game's over.
Oh, yeah.
By the end of the game. Yeah. So, I mean, it's weird. Because you do see that a lot where I don't think it's as pronounced as it used to be, but like dome teams and shit like that just don't do well when there's actual like elements. Basically, just even when it's cold. Like that was Manning's biggest knock, right?
Yeah.
He fucking withered in cold weather.
Yeah. And
then had the luck of like playing one of his Super Bowls in New York.
Well, it all worked out in the end.
Yeah, he's okay.
I suppose. Yeah. Who you got on this, Dan?
I don't care.
How do you not care about the good game, but you're like, dude?
Because the Eagles are back, and that's all of his attention is on there.
Yep. We're on to. I believe I saw the Eagles schedule. It's like fucking 2 games against the Giants, a game against the Jets, 2 games against Washington. Those are all winnable.
Go.
Don't let us get hot.
That's not what Eagles sound like.
Close enough.
Yeah, I suppose.
I will say I think the Packers at home probably win the game.
Yeah.
I think that's right. I would take that. Although if Mason Crosby can't fucking kick anymore.
No, he can't. If you're going to give me even money on the Packers at home, though, against pretty much anybody, I'm going to take it.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard to win there.
I think that's fair.
Browns at Ravens, rivalry game, I guess. Baker Mayfield's performance hasn't been that great ever in his life, and his wife doesn't understand why the rest of the team isn't performing. I guess.
That's a common complaint of the quarterback's wife, right?
Yeah.
My husband cannot catch and throw the ball.
Yeah. I don't know what the stats on this are, but just from watching the games this season, I would say Dak deals with drop passes way more than Baker Mayfield.
Yeah,
right?
Probably.
Like, and tipped balls.
Yeah, I mean, how many passes as good as he is, but CeeDee Lamb drops at least 2 balls a game.
Yeah, he's that dude. If he was in high school, he would have a ball duct taped to his hands, going back and forth to class and shit. At Baltimore, -3.5 for Baltimore. What do you got on this?
I love that. Might take a half point, but I think Baltimore is way fucking better than the Browns. Like, yeah, roll. Absolutely. I know, like, you get some weird results with the Ravens, but I mean the Browns just fucking suck.
Lamar Jackson's listed as questionable.
Sickness.
Yeah, he's got
missed
some
last game.
Non-COVID illness, but they don't know. They haven't said what exactly it is. I don't
Huntley
know
looked okay.
I don't know what that means.
Illness?
It says non-COVID illness. What the fuck is that?
Does he have the flu?
I guess that just means he doesn't have to sit out a certain amount of time once he's better.
Mm-hmm. Right. I'm looking at the drop passes leaders, by the way, and it's not who you would think, really.
Who is it?
Chargers number 1, but the Chiefs are number 4. Maybe that's just a product of volume.
Yeah.
Browns right down the middle. Cowboys actually right next to the Browns. They both have 11 drop passes on the year. So, pretty fascinating.
Marquise Brown for the Ravens is also questionable. He was out this past week, and he practiced once this week so far, I think. Or no, that's from last week. So he hasn't practiced at all this week. He's listed as questionable right now.
So basically, you need to wait to the game time.
Yeah, I would wait on this one until probably Thursday, maybe Friday. Probably actually Friday, because they're not going to make a decision on.
Yeah,
I think the Browns cover 3.5, lose by 3.
Maybe, yeah.
If
it's
there's no reason to not buy a half point on a 3.5 spread, in my opinion. Because then because I mostly do it just because I don't want to be fucking angry at myself.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to bet this. Game's gross. Speaking of gross, Monday Night Football. Seahawks at Washington. I guess you could have, before the season, thought this was going to be a good defensive matchup. Two top NFC teams. Didn't work out that way.
No.
Washington is reeling right now, and I think it's only going to get worse for them.
Just one. Just beat Carolina.
Okay.
They're on a 2-game win streak, actually, because they beat the Bucs right before that.
Heineke just going off.
But, I mean, they are 2-6 in their last 8 games.
Didn't they just...
I'm sorry, 2-4 in their last 6 games.
They just lost Chase Young for the year.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson's been... Talk about reeling. He's lost
no shit. Yeah, he's
first
terrible.
time in his career right now.
It's terrible for his brand.
Yeah. Let's see.
I'm not betting this dog shit.
What did ESPN do to the NFL?
What do you mean?
They just keep feeding them just the worst Monday night games.
It's I don't know, before the season this is not a bad game, but if you know
every year though.
But yeah, look at this game, or look at the games that are happening this week. Rams at Packers. Why is this not the fucking Monday Night Football game?
It's
honestly.
Weird to me. It's none of those games are even
at
the
least
Sunday night.
At least the night game, yeah. What the fuck, man? I mean, I understand games that are on Thanksgiving or whatever, but that's not any of the ones we're talking about. The Bucks, Colts, Rams, Packers, and
Pats,
Titans. Any of those games could have been the Monday or Sunday night game.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Fox has the most power, so that's their big game. That's their slot. It's their game of the week. It's always at 3:25.
Maybe.
So that's, for whatever reason, Fox seems to get first pick.
Well, either way, it worked out. And it worked out for the Cardinals, too, because they got a bye this week. And Kyler Murray hasn't been healthy in like a fucking month.
Yeah.
He's been butt-fucking my fantasy football team.
You got Colt McCoy?
No, good. Thanks. I actually have Teddy Bridgewater as my backup, and he's been doing pretty well.
If it gets you numbers.
Yeah, I mean, it's better than a replacement level guy, so what are you going to do?
Yeah,
I'm still getting my ass kicked, though, the last couple of weeks. And, that's just how it is, man. That's how it is. Is there going to be a work stoppage in baseball?
I don't know. No, that's why no one's signing, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it fucks anybody over who's injured. So for the Braves, for example, Acuna is rehabbing and Charlie Morton is rehabbing from that broken leg. If there's a work stoppage, they can't rehab at team facilities. They have to come out of their own pocket and do that stuff, which is what it is. But it's better if you're seeing your team doctor that's been your doctor for this entire time.
Yeah.
Like you literally, it's against the rules for you to use the doctor you've been using this whole time. At that point, that's really fucking stupid. So hopefully they avoid that shit.
Yeah, you would think there would be some sort of like, kind of like clause where it's like, yeah, there's a work stoppage, but you can still fucking heal you. It's even even if there's a work stoppage, like that's not going to make Acuna unsigned to the Braves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like even if the Braves want to fuck the player or the teams want to fuck the players over in other ways or something like that, they're only really fucking themselves over if they're not letting their stars like heal correctly.
Speaking of healing correctly, this guy hasn't. Philip Lindsay just got cut by the Texans. I assume he's going to get picked up pretty fast by somebody, probably by the Titans, right? Like they need some running back help now that Homeboy's out for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
They're probably going to need some kind of committee situation, or maybe the Panthers pick him up or somebody like that. But you can probably get him on the cheap, and half the season left, he's probably going to get you 400 or 500 yards. It's not a bad pickup.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
And that's fun for him. He gets to not play for the Texans anymore.
Yeah, no shit. I'm sure, like the ESPN article says, he got released from a crowded backfield. Crowded with whom, motherfucker? What are you talking about? Your team is terrible. Anyways, yeah. Hopefully, so he's going through the waiver process right now. You assume if you pick him up on waivers, then you have to pay his contract.
Yeah.
If you let him clear waivers, then they pay the guaranteed money, and then you have a new deal with him.
Right.
Or he gets a prorated veteran minimum or something like that, right? So, yeah, nobody's going to claim on waivers. I think, the Saints may even fucking pick him up. Who knows? Get both of their running backs in 1 year. Mark Ingram and fucking Philip Lindsay. Who knows?
So many teams this year just suck.
Yeah.
That half the league should be looking at him. Like, get anything. He's
legit. I mean, he started off his career with 2,000-yard seasons. He got hurt and played kind of – I mean, he played 11 games in the 20 season, but it was like you could tell he wasn't really right that whole year.
Yeah.
And then he sat out the rest of the 5 games, and this year he's been playing on the Texans. You can't use that as a fucking measure of anything, except for his fucking patience, I guess. But yeah, he's fuck, man. I would sign him if I needed a backup running back right now. I would definitely sign this guy.
Yeah, 100%.
Anyways, all right. Well, we're gonna get out of here. Tune in on over to our main channel, Drinkin Bros. We're gonna have Jared Taylor on to discuss some weird shit going on in the news lately, and maybe not even anything specific. We may just talk about buttholes. You never know.
Yeah.
But Jared's gonna zoom in. We'll start that at 4 p.m. Central. So, see you in hell.